This is Real Deal Sports Talk with KP, August 29th, 2018.
Yo, who balls iller than all lyrics and song killers? I dissolve niggas with fireballs from the jaw spilling. No hard feelings, but y'all niggas is all filler. Rip apart buildings and standing taller than Godzilla. A full verbal assault drilling the born villain. No absorbing in my mind, solving the God's willing. Formulate the flow with finesse and in the highest fashion. The fire burning in my soul, my spirit's everlasting. Feel the wrath, you rappers don't even stand a chance. Crushing everything in our path just like an avalanche. So resounding, the flow is sounding so picture perfect. Blood, sweat, and tears. Promise you that the shit is worth it. My word's perfect, in every verse is the worst murder. Now I'll probably burn up a fire, attended a church service. It's closed curtains for whack rappers who lack purpose. You should stop your rapping and put your app in a fat burger. Cause only way you can serve them is with a side of fries.
And welcome into our Sunday show, or our Wednesday show, excuse me. See, I'm all discombobulated right now because we're not normally on Wednesdays, are we? We're here on Wednesday. Yesterday we had some technical difficulties as our main computer went out and was not able to get the show out to you guys. So we got it all fixed up. We're back here today. Real Deal Sports Talk with KP, August 29th, 2018. We got one more show in August. That'll be tomorrow. Definitely wanted to get at you today. On today's show, we are going to cover the NFL Preseason Finale, Week 4. Those games are all tomorrow night, starting at 5 p.m. local time here in Denver. So we want to get that part in before the games get started. And also, I had the privilege of speaking with Big Ed Beckley of Bad Boys of Wrestling and No Limits Entertainment, motorcycle fame, monster truck fame. Look him up. Great story. We'll get that conversation on today as well. But you know what? I'm having a good day. I got to tell you guys what happened today. So I found out I'm going to go up actually and meet up with Ed Beckley in Eagle, Colorado this Sunday for an event the Bad Boys of Wrestling are putting on in Eagle County Fairgrounds. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I found out today I'm going to get to go up and do that, cover the event, meet the wrestlers, see the sights, how they put their whole event together there. And I'll come back and talk to you guys about it because, I mean, Ed's an amazing guy. So, found that out today. Then, this morning, I'm at work, working on computers, fixing them up, re-imaging them, changing out parts, helping teachers with their problems. And the local radio station here in town, says they're running a contest, and at 10:45 you can call in for tickets to the CU-CSU game. 4-game pack to the game. Now, I've never won anything on the radio. I almost never even call in because of that fact. You call in so many times, you kind of lose hope that you're going to be the prize winner. Now, if you guys remember when I was working with the Crush, and the show was I was the official show of the Colorado Crush at that time, I ran a contest on my show for tickets. So it's kind of fun to put them on, not so fun to be the person who only gets the busy signal. Anyway, they say at 10:45, be caller 5 to win the 4-pack of tickets to the CU-CSU game at Mile High on Friday night. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll pay attention, see when they announce it. 10:44, I decide, let me start dialing now. Dial, get a busy signal. Dial, get another busy signal. Dial one more time, why not? Third time's a charm, right? Let's just see what happens. So I dial the third time, start to get that busy signal, thinking here I go, I'm just going to hang up. Voice comes on the line. Caller number 5, you are the winner. Man, I was so happy. I ain't never won nothing. I understand now why people get so ecstatic. I didn't act all goofy or crazy or nothing, but it did feel good to have the person pick up and say, hey, you are the winner. Congratulations. And they took down my information, and I went down to their station this afternoon and picked up the tickets. So I'm having a pretty good Wednesday. Pretty good hump day for me. Now I just got to remember, so that my wife doesn't get mad at me, to get the trash down to the curb tonight and, get the grass watered when we're done talking today. I hope your guys' Wednesdays are going as smoothly as mine is right now. So we're going to jump in. We're going to start off with the games tomorrow, the preseason finale, because the conversation with Ed, it's about a half hour long. It's going to be most of our show today. But again, great conversation. This guy has lived a life. He's met people. He knows people. Been around a long time. And I'm very fortunate and honored to have been able to talk to him, speak with him, and then get to meet him this coming weekend. So I'm really looking forward to that. Tomorrow night, preseason finale, game 4. Starters aren't going to play. We're starting to see a trend this season where starters aren't playing even in the third game of the preseason, which was traditionally the warm-up game, where you did your dress rehearsal, you came out, you played a half, maybe you came out after halftime, ran a few plays, just to get into the routine of what that's like before week 1. A lot of people now are calling for the end of preseason. Let's take 2 games out here. Jerry Jones thinks that player safety could somehow be affected by giving them 18 regular season games. Only thing affected by that is his pocketbook. That's some just pure nonsense. I don't know. I mean, he's a businessman. He's already told his players and shown everybody in America the only thing he cares about is his bottom dollar. His players are not people to him. They do not have rights because they are employees for a ball club. And now he wants to come out and say, oh, for your safety, I think you should play 2 more games that count. Yeah, my foot. Now, to me, I love the 4th preseason game. And here's why. Where the starters aren't playing, the depth and maybe the future of your team is. Okay? So hear me out. Y'all know I'm a Lions fan. Been a Lions fan for going on 30 years. We play Cleveland tomorrow night. Okay? Lions have not had a good preseason. Our starters are sitting out. Some of our younger guys, some of these guys that are coming in at depth, guys that are trying to earn a roster spot still, they need those reps. Yeah, your starters are solidified. For the most part, the coaches coming into this game know exactly who they want on their roster. But guess what? Even if you've made the team and you're backup, you need reps. You need more reps so that if you have to step up, you're in a position you can step up. Because you've now gotten those extra reps. You've gained more experience. You've seen more things. You've been exposed to more things from a defense. If you're an offensive lineman, for example. Or you've been exposed to more plays from the offense. And you've seen more looks. So I'll get to watch tomorrow night and see where the depth is. Are we making progress? Did we get better from last week on the back end guys? Do we see any coaching up taking place? What kind of effort are those guys going to give in this game? So I like the 4th preseason game. I get a better sense of what teams are going to do throughout the season on that 4th preseason game than I do by watching the starters. You can gauge the starters. That's easy. You know what they're capable of, especially if they're vets. You know what they've done. You know what they're capable of. Easy to gauge what you expect to come from that. But now here's the bulk of your team. Here's the other half. A little more than half of your team that's getting extra reps, time to shine, and the ability to go, okay, I've learned something tonight. So I like that aspect. Like I said, Cleveland's taking on Detroit tomorrow. You got Miami and the Falcons. Bad news coming out of Cleveland all around right now, right? I mean, the thing happening at Njoku's apartment, just not a good look right there. Rashad Higgins, I mean, yeah, just not a good look with the news coming out of Cleveland right now. The Dolphins at Atlanta. The Jets announced today Sam Darnold will be their starting quarterback week 1 as they trade Teddy Bridgewater off to New Orleans, potentially, presumably, to be the namesake for Drew Brees after he steps down. So Sam Darnold tomorrow night will be not playing because he's starting week 1, and the Jets will be taking on the defending Super Bowl champions in their season finale. New England is at the Giants. You can expect not to see the Giants' big rookie in Saquon Barkley, I'm sure. You're not going to see any of the starters. It'll be fun to watch some of these new Patriots players play because they had a lot of turnover in the offseason, and some of those guys will be getting extra reps. You have Indianapolis at Cincinnati. Cincinnati just re-signed a couple of their defensive linemen in Carlos Dunlap and Geno Atkins, paid both of them very well. You have Washington at Baltimore, where you know, Lamar Jackson, time to shine. RG3, go ahead, start the game probably. Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. Probably get a lot of reps for Winston in this game as he's going to be suspended the first few weeks. So you want to get him some playing time. Same can be said for the Patriots and Julian Edelman. You might see him get some playing time that he normally wouldn't have gotten as a starter because he will be suspended those first few weeks of the season. Carolina at Pittsburgh. The Rams, who they haven't played their starters at all this preseason, they're going to New Orleans and taking on the Saints. The Bills at the Bears. I would expect the Bills rookie Josh Allen to get some playing time tomorrow night. It seems like he should be healthy enough to play. Minnesota at Tennessee. Dallas at Houston. The Packers, who just shelled out the truck for Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, a little smaller of a deal than I expected. $100 million guaranteed, though. Got to feel nice, especially when they're going to give him $80 million of that by March of 2019. No word yet if he got that opt-out clause, however. Packers taking on the Chiefs. Denver is taking on Arizona. You can expect to see a lot of Chad Kelly and Paxton Lynch in this game. Probably a lot of Denver's rookies are probably going to be playing in this game, getting a lot of valuable reps as if they can do what it seems like they can do based on their talent level coming out in the draft. Denver will be a much better team. So valuable reps for some of those Josie Jewells and Royce Freeman and Deshaun Hamilton and Cortland Sutton and these guys who are going to be starters tomorrow night and are going to get starter reps and have starter anxiety and starter nerves and gain nothing but valuable experience from it. You have the Chargers at the 49ers and the Raiders at the Seahawks. Then after that, comes Saturday, September 1st, you have cutdowns. You're going from your 90-man roster or wherever you currently sit, and you're cutting down to 53. You're 53. Now expect some teams to leave roster spots open. Some of the talk that we're hearing on different sports radio factions and even out on Twitter right now is to expect maybe some more trades this weekend, especially in the backup quarterback market, maybe in the running back rooms. So it's going to be a fun weekend all around. Season finale or preseason finale. Next Thursday, we got live football for the NFL. This weekend, we got college football. We're going to talk about that a little bit on tomorrow's show because there's some big games coming up. But moving on. So, Bad Boys of Wrestling, I see them on social media. I reach out to them. I see that they're having an event here in Colorado and say, hey, I'd love to talk to you. And maybe we can set up an interview. And in the future, I could cover an event or something. And Ed, being the upstanding guy he is, gets back to me right away. He's like, yeah, that sounds great. Let me know when you want to do it. We'll set it up. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, that's great. And, Ed's down there in Bridgeport, Texas. And like I said, he's got a long history in this stuff. He's been doing, the motorsports and motorcycle jumping and monster trucks from inception, back in the 60s through today. He had his final jump, he was saying, in 2017. He's been doing the wrestling thing since 1980. But I think the best thing I can do is just let him tell you himself what it is that they do.
Our main focus that we do basically is monster trucks. That's what we do. We have a traveling tour that goes from East Coast to the West Coast and north and south, and sometimes up into Canada and places like that. So that, of course, that first quarter is getting ready to come up, and that's whenever our busiest time is. That's harvest, so to speak. And so I was just on the phone with Nebraska, and also on the phone with Maryland, back and forth. So just in the last half hour, I've been made about 3 or 4 phone calls and stuff, and I told her, I said, "Hey, I'll be gone in a second. I'll be back." And I thought, well, heck, maybe by then, you'll call or something.
Right.
Well, I was pretty close to right. So, yeah, but we're getting tickets set up, to be on sale for those events and things like that is what I'm doing. But we've been doing a wrestling deal, and somebody asked me today, I posted on Facebook what all I was doing, and they were like, "You got into wrestling when?" Well, 1980. And they all went, "Huh?" And some of these people have known me that long, I guess, just didn't realize that we did that, So,
right, yeah. I was looking at the website. You have a Limits Entertainment.
Yeah, No Limits Monster Truck Tour. Yeah. We're actually one of Bigfoot's largest customers, that we book their truck more than anybody.
Oh, wow.
In the last couple of years, we haven't done it that much. We didn't do it some, but it used to be, oh my God, it was basically Bigfoot ran for us. They even painted a truck like us. We called it Bad Boy.
Oh, wow.
And because we had the Bad Boys of Racing is what our thing was called, and instead of No Limits, and so we had a Bad Boy monster truck that was a Bigfoot truck, and
that's cool.
Everything was it was red and black, just like our customers, red, white, and black, and so yeah, we've been doing this thing for a long time, and it's basically what we do is sell tickets about whatever, whether it be wrestling or monster trucks or mud bogs or motorcycle races or all different types of motorcycle races, from everything from motocross to flat track, things like that. And so we used to run the races for the Sturgis Rally. I did that for quite a few years, and was the AMA referee and did that. And then my kid quit racing, and so then I quit doing that, So, but that's, pretty wide, varied business, basically. We don't have any limits, so to speak.
There
really
you go.
Don't,
there you go.
So can do anything, because, marketing's marketing.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing it to the millennials or the guy that's in the December of his life. I mean, it's all the same, basically, no matter what. You just got to where you find your target to it and do it. Now, whether it be monster trucks or wrestling or whatever, it's kind of almost one of the same somewhat, with some of the demographics are really close together.
Right, there is that crossover audience there. Now, I was reading, you actually used to be a motorcycle jumper, is that correct?
Yes, just the last jump I made was in 2017. So I only quit just a little over a year ago. I finally pulled the plug, and just because, maybe I reached my senses or something after being 67. I'm now 68 years old. Well, like I said, last time I did a motorcycle jump, I was 67 years old.
Very impressive.
But the demand was there. I mean, people still wanted me to jump and wanted me to do the PR work and stuff like that, which is what I really excel on. I've always been pretty good at that, as it not only that I had a gift of gab, so to speak, but I could do it also. So that was one thing about it. Good.
What did you think of Travis Pastrana recently redoing Evel Knievel's jumps there at Caesar Palace?
Travis and I were old friends, met him a long time ago, and I was all for him doing these jumps and stuff. And although it was like on a very modern type motorcycle compared to what Knievel did, but it doesn't matter. It was still... there was some danger in there for sure. But, of course, now anymore on television, back then, Knievel or me or whoever that was doing those things back then, we just did it. if we said we could do it, they'd go put a camera on us. So whether we died, broke every bone in our body, or whatever, they got it. Or if we made it, they got it, and we were triumphant. So they were getting the agony of, defeat too. As it says, I used to say on CBS Sports Spectacular all the time.
Right.
Whether they win or they crash, we're going to take a picture of it, put it on here, because that's what America wanted to see.
Right.
And now it's a lot different. Now you got to do what's called vet it. And so what that means is basically Travis Pastrana did those jumps multiple times before he ever went to Caesar's Palace. They
Right.
were there at Caesar's Palace and measured and measured and measured, and then went up and set the exact same type of circumstances with the shortness of it, the length of it, the no place to stop also type thing. So they did all that, and then he did it and did it and did it and did it and did it, so many times that they thought, okay, he's not going to splat, and
Right.
we get sued because we showed this over the air, because anymore, the quote-unquote snowflake type thing that we're living in, you can't really hurt yourself on TV without being sued.
Right.
Because, somebody thinks that you've just soiled their children for the next 40 years. They'll never be able to do anything ever again, and all the above. So, yeah. So that, but Travis, he's a good showman. The motorcycle that he used, is pretty interesting, was a flat track bike, and that Indian, when they came about here in the last couple of years, and started back up, and actually it's not the old factory. The old factory people used to be from Massachusetts, and they were really dyed-in-the-wool fans of themselves and nobody else, and so they hated Harley, and Harley hated them. So that made a great, rivalry back in all the way through the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and up through the mid-50s. And then they went out of business in the mid-50s, and Harley, of course, went in and out of business with so many different people. He took a bowling ball company to fix them for a while, they thought, whenever AMF owned it back in the 70s. But they persevered and made their stuff. Now, it came back through, basically, it's all through the company that does all sorts of snowmobiles and all this stuff, so that company jumped in and decided they were going to build these new motorcycles, and they've done a great job building the street bikes, and then they got plenty of money, and so they decided they're going to have a race bike, and I'll be damned if they didn't, lo and behold, for some reason. Why? I know why, because the guy's really good, knows what he's doing. They picked a friend of mine who lives 14 miles from me, right over here in a little town called Decatur, Texas, and he lives just outside of that. He was the #1 American Motorcycle Association wrench for 9 years, and they went over to him and said, hey, if we brush you with a few $100,000, will you help our racing effort? Well, yeah. So he helped design an engine, and was made over in Austria, and that new Indian FTR 750 has just dominated the flat track racing. And Kenny Talbert, my friend, that is the one that came up with all this stuff for them. He has done very well financially. He's a very good friend of mine. I go over and look at what their new thing that they're jacking around with, so I see it before anybody else does. That makes my lips water sometimes. Yeah, because I'm a flat track freak. I love it. So I knew what Travis was going to do this on, but oh my God, that's the difference between doing it on a real motorcycle and a lawnmower, basically, from what Knievel used to use. But a lot of people don't realize when Knievel started jumping, he was just basically almost like a professional crasher.
Right.
So Travis hasn't been that. Travis crashed a lot when he was, motocrossing and stuff like that, because he was a wild, crazy young kid. He just went out there and could hold on to the handlebars with bonsai, But he was going to try to win, and it was Crasher winners or checkers type thing. So checkers or records basically is what he was doing, and he did a lot of that. So he was somewhat like Knievel, but Knievel's whole lifestyle, that's what made him famous, and that he just happened to be filmed, by John, what's his name? I lost it now. His wife was the chick on Dallas Forever. That's who filmed that footage. John lost it. I'm going to come up with it in a second. But anyway, he's the guy that, John Derrick. There you go, Bo Derrick's husband. But Linda Evans was dating him. Linda Evans, the one that was on Dallas Forever, she's the one that was filming there at Vegas back in 1968 on New Year's Eve of 1968, and that's her footage that shows Knievel falling and breaking every bone in his body type thing. That became very famous footage.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, so just there's a lot of things went into making Knievel where he was at. That's for sure.
Right.
Having Derek taking that filming or whatever was awesome. That it was done by Linda Evans. That's just almost out of who would have could have wrote that in the book? You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we could definitely talk. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say that Travis did a great job doing the jumps, and it was spectacular and all that. But what was funny, I don't know if you happen to see it or not, it's almost disheartening in a way to me to know that that's kind of where it's at right now. I'm glad I'm not trying to make a living off of that. But when Travis jumped the buses and jumped this big stack of cars, he had 3 jumps. The first 2 were at location, a big old parking lot. There was about 3,000 people there. Okay? It was free.
Nice.
To think that that's all that you could draw in Vegas, a town that's supposed to be known for, daredevil stuff and all the above, and to just go out there and watch this guy basically break all these records and bake them in the sun is what I said. He didn't break them. He baked those records. He cooked them. He jumped them. He did it way better and way bigger and all the above. And to see that, only had about 3,000 people there. That just really blows me away. Now, there might have been more than that at Caesars. There couldn't have been too many more than at Caesars, because there's not that much room to put that many people.
Right. Yeah.
Stand them, hang them, get 3,000 or 4,000 people at that place. That's like a city fell in the middle of it.
Exactly.
But 3,000 people out there in that parking lot that could have held 10 or 20. That doesn't make sense, but it is what it is, So I think, people watching people jump cars with a motorcycle is kind of went by the wayside. I know when I was doing circle tracks and drag strips all over the place, I made plenty of money back then by working on so much a head, like $1 a head or $2 a head or whatever it may be. And I made a lot, but there was a lot of Grand Slams that had 4,000 or 5,000 people at it, and I would make that much in one night back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. You don't make that kind of money. That was pretty big money at that point in time. The last times that I did these things, I was doing it for my own monster truck show and or Harley shops and stuff. And I was getting paid pretty good money, but it wasn't like a weekly paycheck that I needed anyway. So I was trying to draw people to my monster truck shows, and it did, thank God, it did. So, but Travis did a great job and a good show and all the above, and it did it on a very superior motorcycle, and why not, why would he pick a lawnmower to jump? Just because that's the best Knievel had at the time. It was just basically a lawnmower with wheels, and it was mounted curve and done to work. It had no shock absorbers. The shock, mine had 4 inches of suspension, and the rest of it was in his back, and that's why he fell a lot of times and couldn't hold on.
Yeah.
That thing is smack it in the ass. The seat is jumped back into and try to, run everything inside of him up to his neck. When it hit so hard, they couldn't hold on to the handlebars. No matter what, King Kong couldn't have held on.
Yeah, so, it was something else watching him fly on those bars.
Yeah, good stuff,
So you guys have an event coming up this week. You're here in Colorado, in Eagle County Fairgrounds. Tell everybody a little bit about that.
Fun story. I was coming back from basically doing an event in eastern Colorado at Montrose. It's a beautiful arena there. We did a monster truck show, and I happened to fly into Salt Lake, and then went over there and decided then I was going to go home through Denver. So I was driving down the interstate. What the heck is that? Beautiful little grandstand sitting there. It's not little either by no means, but nice big grandstand. So I could see it from interstate. It was right off the right side of the highway. So I took the exit, went to the traffic circle, came there, and went, holy God, it looked like so to speak, almost like a Red Rock for motorsports. It was just a perfect place to do any kind of thing inside that rodeo grounds. Inside a grandstand, had a big, nice covered grandstand. It was sectional, like a sectional couch, so to speak. There's 3 pieces, and they're about 1,000 seats or so each, and nice covered deal. No matter what the weather, you're going to be out of the weather, and we all know it's going to rain at least once in the afternoon or evening or whatever. If it's in Colorado, it's got to. At least we hope it's going to. But so anyway, I stopped there, looked at it, went on, got in the airplane, came home, and that Monday morning fired a phone call off there and booked the Monster Truck Show. We were there June the 16th, sold the place out. Never in my life have I experienced the things we got from the crowd. It was overwhelming. I'd never seen anything like it. I'd be downtown, Dad would have a shirt on or something that said Monster Trucks or whatever on it, and guys, people would just all different age groups. So, are you at that Monster Truck Show that's coming this week? Yeah. And they go, well, boy, we just want to thank you for bringing that here. And I was just like, okay. And so then did this show, and I had 2 announcers, myself and another guy. I was sitting in the grandstand and would announce and do interviews and stuff like that. And anyway, I'll be darned if all through the evening in that 2 hours and 15 minutes, if I bet that I met everybody in the grandstand. It was sold out, 3,000 people or so. It seemed like every one of them came up and thanked me for coming there. And what we found out is, yes, it was a good show, and no, they'd never had it. And so I got to talk to the fairgrounds. What have you got? This, you got that. Well, they haven't had anything. They've got a rodeo. That's about it. And it's a great facility. And I said, well, why don't we use this thing? And the lady goes, yeah, why don't we? She looked at my website and goes, wow, you do all these different kinds of things. She got going through all my history of drill show stuff, this and that. We got talking, and I said, you've got a big following here, people that want to do stuff, and it's the local folks. They care less about what the GoPro Nationals are, and the skating and the skiing and the water sports and all that. They live there. They do it. They've been doing it since dirt was made. So they can care. Monster Truck Show came to town and went nuts for it. The wrestling show's coming, and they're talking. That's the big talk in town now. Now, Eagle isn't a very big town when you think about it, but then when you start discovering how many people live there, there's probably, 250,000 people that live within a rock throw of that place, if you got a strong arm, let's put it that way. But, there's nothing for them to do in that valley. The local person doesn't really have that much to do unless they want to do the same thing that all the people that are coming there for the weekend are doing. So that blows that out. They're not going to do that. So so we came with the idea of, like I said, the wrestling deal. And the wrestling is very, very popular with that whole place. And one of the main reasons is there's a lot, a big faction of Hispanics that live there. Well, we all know that's their number 2 sport in Mexico is wrestling, is pro wrestling. It's right behind soccer. Those guys down there are, you know, that's the famous person that they want to beat, the wrestler or the you know, the soccer player. Anything else, they don't really go for. They don't know what basketball is down there. So that's why we're not bringing basketball. We're bringing wrestling to Eagle because it knows what it is, and it's a good old red-blooded, whether it be it's an American deal, but it might be a lot of Hispanics, it might be a lot of Italians or whatever. But that people right there seems like that they're going to be the ones that's going to be the market for this. And we've got the radio station behind us, and they are just pumping the heck out of it. We're running 22 spots a day right now, 22, you know, commercials a day from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you don't know about it, you're definitely deaf.
Right. So you guys have...
And we got posters up everywhere. I mean, it's, you know, the price is right. We're doing $15 general admission at the grandstand. Well, right in front of the rodeo is the rodeo arena. And that's where the ring's going to be. So it's going to be the cool thing outdoors under the stars, and people are going to love it. And so we've got some ringside, we've got some bleachers, we've got some seating too. We've got $50 seats with a free T-shirt and a meet and greet. That's unheard of, you know. And those are the first ones that started selling. It's the most expensive ones we have. So we're pretty excited about that too. And we have, we've got like a second row ringside type deal for $20 and on it. And it's all GA, all the seating is GA in the front row. They're going to have a front row ticket. They can sit anywhere they want as long as they get there early. So, you know, I got Jake the Snake, I got, you know, Greg and Henry Valentine. Those are the 2 prominent names that people are going to know. And a lot of people are going, I mean, these guys are still alive. Well, yeah, they're tough as nails, you know. I mean, I'm 6'2", 310 pounds, I was a boxer. And I can tell you that I'm 67, 68 years old. You wouldn't want to put me in a phone booth with you right now either if you wanted to fight. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't last long. But I didn't say this was going to be a 2-hour fight. So it's going to be a good one, though.
Right.
So, Jeff, it's pretty cool, you know, this whole thing, you know, with they're all jacked up for it. The guys are. You know, and I'm going to tell you something right now. Greg hits you. Oh, he's smart.
Oh, I bet.
You know? Yeah, he's smart. He's very, what's known as stiff in the business. That means that no matter who we put up against him, he's going to be beat up. No matter if they win or not, they're still going to be beat up. I mean, the guys can still slug, you know. And same thing with Jake. Jake, he is a very scientific guy. Not only does he know ring savvy and all that stuff that he's really famous for, he's also knows snap punches and stuff like that. So,
yeah, right.
You know, he can end that thing pretty quick when he wants to. So, yeah, it's going to be a good event, I believe. And not only that, but all these other people that we've brought. I mean, I think we've got everybody that has any kind of real good ring experience. We've got them inside the show. I mean, got a guy called Filter, man. That guy, I think he probably is mean enough to eat sawdust and pass out a big 4x4. I'm pretty sure. That's pretty good sized boy, and I think he could probably do that. And then, you know, then you got the guy that you know, that Hunter, you know, the Viking guy. Oh my God, I think he could probably eat that 4x4. He's a fruit tooth. You know, he's a fruit toothpick. I mean, these guys are big and they're bad. And yeah, so and you know, and then you got the Duke stuff that has been around this thing forever, and he's tough. got the girls that are really don't like each other. They really don't, too. That's a good point, you know. And you got one that's actually starving for this business, and she's going to be tough. I'm not kidding you. She wants to make her mark. So we know we've got people coming and all this. And the funniest part of this whole deal is
So that was our conversation with Big Ed Beckley of Bad Boys of Wrestling. Can't wait for Sunday for that to come up. Our conversation actually went on a little bit longer than that because Ed just has so many stories. We could have talked for hours, and I'm looking forward to getting to know him better and having all of those conversations. Again, it was a privilege to be able to speak with Ed and get to meet him this Sunday at Eagle County Fairgrounds as Bad Boys of Wrestling and No Limits Entertainment put on their show there Sunday night for Labor Day weekend. It's going to be great for me. I grew up a Jake the Snake Roberts fan, Greg the Hammer Valentine. Those guys are right in my prime of watching the sport of wrestling. So it's going to be great. I'll let you guys know how the Rocky Mountain Showdown CU versus CSU goes as I won those tickets. Check out badboysofwrestling.com. If you want to come to the event on Sunday, tickets are still available. You can buy them at the door. You can buy them from the website. However you want, make your way up there, see some legends, see some good action. They have monster truck rides going on. They have kids' big wheel races going on, so there'll be big wheels there that the kids can race. All kinds of fun stuff. Something to do for the weekend. Come home late, sleep in Monday, have a barbecue. It'll be a blast. Thank you again one more time. I'm going to put it out there to Ed Beckley, Big Ed. We'll see you on Sunday. Enjoy the preseason tomorrow. We'll get to college football tomorrow. And until next time, you know how we do. Just be real.
Brandon, a damn rap of an amateur. I ain't a fan of his, motherfucker faking the mannequins. That dude Kellen be acting harder than city fellas when he really jealous and niggas soft for the Cinderella. Wow. Damn, I wonder what niggas stop hating. I guess it's been ingrained since Cain dropped Abel. It's not a fable, these niggas is looking foul flagrant. You could tell from a mile away that my style waving. Bitches staring in amazement like they were stargazing. Your bra returned with a sword drawn, cigar fragrance. I played the cards I was dealt, the faces is all aces. The irony of a fallen angel is God's favorite. Yeah, my whole persona so abrasive. I'm ice cold like being frozen in cryostasis. I'm bar raising, my written verses is all raises. Who else you know who can spit it hard with a suave cadence? Yeah, it's half man, half amazing. I'm so vain that I'm quiet singing my own praises. It ain't a phase, I'm stuck in my ways and not changing. I guess the way I was raised that made me so audacious. These rap patrons put their faith in the wrong places. It's safe to say I was preordained for the coronation. Make sure my crown is all flooded down with all glaciers. I took a bow as the crowd stood for an ovation.